I hope you don't get the sickness.
My boy Kurt is a stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beast dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
We're off to the United Kingdom for our second last stop on our Epcot World Showcase tour and a movie. United Kingdom is the weirdest pavilion to me. Every time I go there, I find a place I have never been, or I look out a window, or I explore behind a shop, and there's always something not new, but new to me, if that makes sense. Exploring the United Kingdom Pavilion makes me feel like an absolute child, like adventure and wonder is always just around a corner. The internet says, the United Kingdom Pavilion is a bustling destination through the seamless blend of architecture that takes you from the streets of London to an English cottage. The essence of this nation is yours to enjoy. Cobblestone streets, a quaint pub, the scent of fish and chips in the air combine to make this an authentic trip across the pond. And yes, there's that word, pub. I'm a white guy from Canada, and that's our dream. To go overseas and drink at a pub. I'm not wrong. You know I'm right. One of my best memories of the United Kingdom Pavilion was going into one shop, out the other door, into another one, cross over, go into a new shop, around the corner, down the stairs, there's shelves of Beatles merchandise. How awesome is that? I remember seeing that and thinking, once I walk out of here and find my family, I'm never going to find this again. Never met Mary Poppins, but I know she's there. I saw her there somewhere in passing one time, and again, probably couldn't find her if I just went back. But alas, we are focusing on the United Kingdom. There's one movie I haven't reviewed yet that's worthy, and since Mary Poppins was done last year, deep in the pandemic, it's finally time to queue up Disney's The Sword in the Stone. Very excited for this. Love The Sword in the Stone by the Carousel in Magic Kingdom. Always a photo op, but let's press play on the VCR, let the auto-tracking do its thing. Auto-tracking, man, it must be in the future. We get a Robin Hood-ish start with a song over storybook pictures, but this is already better. It sounds like church Christmas hymns. More memories there. Quote, and below the hilt the letters in gold were written these words, though whoso pulleth out this sword in stone, the anvil is rightwise king born of England. Though many tried for the sword with all their strength, none could move the sword nor stir it. Is that written on the actual sword? I gotta check that next time we're there. Well, no one could pull out the sword and it mossed over. That would never happen in today's world. There would be it'd be the background of a billion selfies. We go deep into the forest and a wizard is pulling a bucket of water from a well. Is this a nod to the Sorcerer's Apprentice? What's with dehydrated wizard's Walt? He also has a watch like the White Rabbit in Alice in Wonderland. An owl pops out of a clock and says, who's coming? And that one's for the kids, and I'll give it a pass. The wizard looks into the smoke of his pipe and sees men and boys running through the forest. Cut to the manly man hunting and being mean to his little brother. He warns his little brother not to make a noise or ruin anything for him as he's about to arrow a deer. Of course, the kid falls out of a tree and ruins his brother's shot. To make it up to his brother, though, the kid goes deep into the woods to find the wasted arrow. He's warned the woods are crawling with wolves, but he's like the honey badger and he don't care. Shut up, I'm bringing it back. How long ago did I write this? Jeez. Kid falls into the wizard's underground lair. The wizard's name is Merlin. The kid's name is Arthur, and we're off. Anyone see the Mexican Christmas classic Santa Claus? It forever ruined me for Merlin, but luckily that's the greatest Christmas movie ever made, so I forgave it. The kid and his new buddy Merlin sit at the table. The tea set is alive. The chair is alive. This is Beauty and the Beast before Beauty and the Beast was Beauty and the Beast. Merlin waves a wand and gets his beard twisted in it. That's pretty funny. In this movie, much like the Mexican Christmas classic Santa Claus, Merlin is a complete bumbler. I wonder why this is. I'm gonna Google, was Merlin an idiot? Okay, there's a show called Merlin, and fans are mad because it was canceled, and it seems like he was indeed an idiot in that show as well. Google, was Merlin even a real person? Yes, but he wasn't a wizard. No, he wasn't. Yes, he was. He led an army. Okay, I'm bored. Back to the movie. Okay, Arthur and Merlin go to leave, and Merlin gets his beard stuck in the door. There's a wolf that follows them, but he's also a bumbler, and he looks a little too close to Wile E. Coyote. Back in the castle, Arthur's dad is mad at Arthur's older brother for leaving Arthur in the woods. He casually mentions that, who cares, Arthur is adopted, and I feel like that was an unnecessary detail to drop right there, so I'm gonna guess that's gonna come up and be important a little later in the movie. Arthur and Merlin show up at the house. The dad laughs at Merlin's claim that he's the strongest wizard in the world, so he makes it snow on the dad. Take that, display. I'm pretty sure they keep using the same clip of the older brother eating a drumstick and dropping the bone like it's on loop. And it's wonderful. I wonder if this animated character died during the filming and they had to recycle the footage like they did Bela Lugosi in Plan 9 from Outer Space. They put Merlin in the guest room, which is the top of the busted castle, and the roof leaks, but Merlin has the classic wizard accoutrements, a telescope and a globe. Arthur's cleaning the dishes when they get a visitor. The visitor says there's going to be a competition, and the winner gets to be king of England. That's quite the contest. They decide the mean older brother can win and become king. I like this movie. This is a fun movie. Dated, but fun. I'm sliding into like a mind frame where the older movies don't have to have an airtight script because the constant advancements in animation were enough to carry these across the finish line. I finished typing that line, and there's a beautifully animated scene where Arthur and Merlin are walking beside a golden creek and the reflections glide along with them. Now, Arthur casually mentions that a knight has to be from royalty and he's an orphan. The wizard says his owl is grumpy because he stayed out late last night. Thanks, Merlin. Noted. Then Arthur says if the owl is grumpy because he stayed out late last night, then Merlin must stay out late every night. That's funny. Merlin turns the kid into a fish and drops him in the lake. He looks like Nemo. I like that. Then the wizard in fish form arrives and he's wearing tiny fish glasses. He compares swimming in fish form like a helicopter. Fish Arthur asks, a helicopter? And Merlin takes a beat and then says, never mind. So if I'm following this kind of throwaway line, Merlin is also a time traveler and he's seen the future and helicopters. That's also really funny and pretty clever. That's a slightly complex, multi-layered joke for this movie. They're asking the audience to really punch above their weight at that moment. They break into song, and I always feel bad for these songs that I've never heard before. All these composers and their hard work went into these like mid-movie B-grade songs that were immediately forgotten. They're like sad, wobbly bowling pins as the giant under-the-sea bowling ball comes and screaming down the alley forever to knock him into Disney purgatory. Yeah! Merlin teaches Arthur to swim with his mind. This badass fish comes to eat Arthur. He sticks an arrow in the mean fish's mouth, and Merlin fish seems satisfied that Arthur learned to use his brain over his brawn. There's a chase and fight scene between Artemis the owl fish and Artemis the fish. What? They escape and Merlin changes everyone back to normal. Arthur tells his dad about his adventure. Dad doesn't believe him but says there's something fishy going on around here. Merlin wants him to take on another adventure, but he has a room stacked full of dirty dishes to clean. Dude is male Cinderella. Merlin uses magic and the dishes wash themselves. Dancing brooms, more Fantasia nods. Arthur is now a squirrel, jumping from tree to tree all nimbly bimbly. A lady squirrel takes an interest in him. I don't know, Arthur, you might want to stay a squirrel. Not much happening with you and the human gals, just saying. Merlin mentions that the squirrel, is a redhead. Squirrel Arthur keeps pushing her away, but she keeps holding him down and kissing him. Merlin says, she only knows one thing. You're a he and she's a her. And he sings, you're wasting time resisting. The more she'll keep insisting. Merlin takes great joy watching the sexual assault take place until a chubby female squirrel starts forcing herself on Merlin. This is like the most classic Disney movie I've ever watched so far. Not classic like memorable, but like everything people immediately think of when they think of classic Disney is in this movie. You know what I mean? This feels like one of those 5-minute cartoons they would stick between a Pluto cartoon and a Mickey Mouse cartoon on one of those half-hour clip shows they used to air on Sundays. Anyway, they're turned back to humans to stop the sexual assault, and the female squirrels are left soggy and broken-hearted puddles. Back at the castle, surprise, someone noticed the dishes magically cleaning themselves, and the dad shouts, black magic! The dad acts like a jerk, and his mom gets in Merlin's face, and she's annoying as well. Like, come on, Disney, kill more parents, you can do it! Arthur's in a lot of trouble. Merlin apologizes, and Arthur says it's his own fault, as quote, he shouldn't have popped off. I do not know what that means. Merlin starts talking about how the earth is round, but people haven't accepted that yet. Oh my god, it's 2021 and we're still having this discussion. I bet this movie is held in high praise by the flat earthers. Arthur leans over the balcony and dreams about flying. Merlin sneaks up behind him and oh man, I would laugh really hard if he just clubs Arthur from behind and sends him over the edge to his death. End of movie. Nope, he turns Arthur into a bird and tells the owl to teach him to fly. Now a hawk comes and tries to eat them. This literally just happened in the last scene when they were fish. A witch finds Bird Arthur, and she looks a lot like the Looney Tunes witch from the Hansel and Gretel skits. She's also a witch and sings a song while going all Alice in Wonderland and getting bigger and shorter. Then she makes herself uglier, then prettier, and she's suddenly sporting a pair of grotesquely large bosoms for a Disney movie. She turns into a pink cat. So many Alice references. She attacks the bird and Merlin comes spinning in like the Tasmanian devil. They stroll outside for a wizard's duel. They march into a dark forest with green skies and twisted trees and bones on the ground. Love this. She changes into a crocodile. Merlin changes into a turret. Then a rabbit? Turret? Was that a typo? She changes into a raccoon. Where is this going? She's a caterpillar. Check that next Alice in Wonderland box. Merlin changes into a chicken to eat her. Then she changes into a walrus. Maybe I got those mixed up. He's a mouse. She's a snake. He's a crab. She's a pink rhino. He's a ram. He knocks her off a cliff. She comes back as a dragon, which is against the rules. She catches him and Arthur says, "I'll peck her eyes out." And the 10-year-old buried deep inside me wants to make a video loop of Bird Arthur angrily yelling, "Pecker!" Yeah, worth it. All right. Merlin turns into the measles and defeats her. What just happened? We see a beautiful castle with snowfall. I would watch this movie if it was just backgrounds. They're toasting Arthur's brother as the next king. His brother's second got the mumps and can't be squire, so they send Arthur to serve his brother. Arthur is excited, but Merlin is mad. Arthur's wasting his talents. So Merlin turns himself into a rocket and flies in anger to Bermuda. Flash forward, the competition is okay. Arthur forgot his brother's sword and escapes abuse to run back and get it. The room is locked, but then he sees the sword in the stone behind the inn. Again, amazing animation here. It's all snow-covered and sad and forgotten. Arthur effortlessly pulls out the sword and tries to give it to his brother, but the grown-ups realize what this is and what this means. He says he pulled it out of the anvil and everyone laughs at him. His dad marches him back to the anvil to prove he's a liar. He places the sword back in, and thankfully his brother points out that it's probably possible to just re-pull it out, but the brother can't. They let Arthur try a second time, and he pulls it out. He's ordained by heaven and becomes king. Everyone, "Hail King Arthur!" That was it. An hour of animal morphing tomfoolery, and this last 5-minute payoff, this was as rushed as the last part of Get Out. Now, Arthur is sitting on the throne in a crown too big for him, and he looks like Owen Hart when he won King of the Ring. He tries to flee, but he can't. He wishes Merlin would return, and just then Merlin returns from Bermuda in a Hawaiian shirt. He winks at the parents and says he came from the 20th century, and it's horrible. Forget The Simpsons. Predicting the future, I present Merlin. He goes on to say he will have Knights of the Round Table and might even get a motion picture out of him without commercials. And it ends, no credits because they were at the beginning, and wow, that was one of the most bizarre Disney movies I've ever seen. Beautiful filler. I don't know what to make of this, but I like 70% of it, but that was because of, this is my favorite style of Disney animation. I mean, yeah, probably deserves to be a classic. Watching this as a kid was probably awesome, but all right, anyways, wrap this up. Back to 2019, back to Epcot World Showcase. We gave my son all the extra snack credits and told him to do a tour of the pavilions and sample a traditional dessert and rate them against each other. So here he is in the United Kingdom tasting Victoria sponge cake.
United Kingdom, and this is a Victoria sponge cake. That's a 10.
What?
That's a 10.
Holy cow.
That's a 10.
From over there, from the fish and chips place. Dessert from the fish and chips place is a 10.
I don't know how or why, but yeah. This is incredible.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism and personal appearance